Have you ever said something in the heat of the moment that you instantly regretted? Or perhaps you felt a knot in your stomach, but you pushed that feeling aside only to find yourself in a huge misunderstanding. Well, today we're unlocking the secret to avoiding those pitfalls by exploring the art of mindful communication, listening to your gut before speaking. Welcome back, Uplifting Life Partners, to Marriage Mastery Uplifters Podcast, Cultivating Extraordinary Connections, the podcast dedicated to helping you build a stronger, more joyful, and resilient marriage. I'm your host, Ron Simplified Myers. Let's ignite possibilities together. Well, this is our Self-Love Wednesday episode, and today we're diving into a topic that is of the utmost importance for a thriving marriage, but also for all your relationships, and especially your relationship with yourself. Mindful communication. See, we often focus on what we say and how we say it, but we sometimes overlook the vital step of tuning into your inner wisdom, that gut feeling, before we even open our mouths. Our intuition, it can be an incredibly powerful guide in our communication. It can alert us to unspoken emotions, potential conflicts, or even when we simply need to pause and gather our thoughts. We've heard the saying, just because you think it doesn't mean you need to say it. Or some things are better not said. It also reminds me of something my dad used to say to us. Don't let your elephant mouth overtalk your jaybird booty. In short, be mindful of what comes out of your mouth because you can't take it back once it's released. So let's break down what I mean by listening to your gut. It's not about being impulsive or acting solely on emotion. Instead, it's about paying attention to the subtle physical and emotional cues that arise within you during a conversation or even before one begins. Think about it. Have you ever felt a tightening in your chest when a certain topic comes up with your partner? Here's an example. You and your partner, you're discussing finances. The conversation's calm at first, but then your partner brings up a new expensive hobby they want to start. You feel a sudden sharp tightening in your chest. Now, it's not a heart attack, thank goodness, but it is your gut telling you this idea feels a little unsafe. Perhaps you're already struggling to pay bills, or maybe you have a history of your partner making impulsive financial decisions. Instead of immediately arguing, you take a pause and say, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed right now. Can we talk more about this after I've had a moment to think? This honors your physical reaction and gives you time to process what that gut feeling is really about. Or maybe you've had that feeling of unease when they make a particular request. Let's say your partner asks you to go to a party with their friends. Now, you've met these friends before, but you've always felt a little ignored and maybe even a little belittled. And as your partner makes the request, you feel a little distinct sense of unease or a pit in your stomach. It's your intuition telling you that this situation, it will likely be uncomfortable for you. So instead of just saying yes to avoid conflict, you take a breath and respond. I'd love to spend time with you, but I'm feeling a little hesitant about going to that party. Can we talk about it? This pause allows you to share your feelings honestly and find a solution that works for both of you. Like maybe suggesting a one-on-one date night instead. These are often your gut instincts trying to tell you something. And the key is to acknowledge these feelings without immediately reacting. It's about creating that pause, that little space between the trigger, what happened, what's being said or felt, and your response. See that pause? That's where all the magic happens. It gives you opportunity to process your gut feeling. Ask yourself, what is this feeling telling me? Is it fear? Is it discomfort? Is it a sense that something isn't quite right? Once you identify that feeling, you can then approach the communication more mindfully. Instead of lashing out or saying something you'll regret, you can choose a more thoughtful and constructive response. For example, let's say your partner brings up a sensitive topic and you feel that familiar knot in your stomach. Instead of getting defensive right away, you can say something like, I notice I'm feeling a little tense right now. Can we take a moment so I can gather my thoughts before we continue this conversation? This is a perfect example of honoring your gut feeling and communicating it in a healthy way. See, it's not about avoiding a conversation, but about setting yourself up for a more productive one. Now, how do we actually cultivate this ability to listen to your gut? It does take practice, but here are a few tips. Pay attention to physical sensations. Notice where you feel emotions in your body. Is it in your stomach, your chest, your shoulders? These physical cues, they can be early indicators of your gut feelings. Practice mindfulness and meditation. Regular mindfulness practices can help you become more attuned to your inner sensations and less reactive to them. Even a few minutes of daily meditation, it can make a huge difference. Reflect on past conversations. Think about things when you ignored your gut feeling and how those played out. What did you feel beforehand? And recognizing these patterns, they can help you in the future. How about trust your intuition without discernment? While it's important to be logical, don't dismiss those persistent gut feelings, especially when they relate to your values and boundaries. However, also be mindful of anxieties that might masquerade as intuition. That last point is crucial. It's about discerning between genuine intuition and fear-based reactions. When you communicate from the place of inner knowing, it often leads to more authentic and fulfilling interactions. This mindful approach also fosters deeper empathy and understanding in your relationship. When you're tuned into your own internal state, you're often more attuned to the subtle cues from your partner as well. So on this Self-Love Wednesday, I encourage you to start paying closer attention to those inner whispers, those gut feelings that arise before you speak. Practice pausing, reflecting, and then responding with intention. It's a skill that takes time and practice to develop, but the rewards for your relationship and your own inner peace, immeasurable. Also, take some time and think about, have you ever had a time when listening to your gut made a big difference in a conversation? Here's what I want you to do. Share your thoughts in our Marriage Mastery Uplifters Facebook group, which we just set up today. It gives for many an easier way to communicate with us. I want to thank you for tuning in. Remember to prioritize self-love and mindful communication in all your relationships. And we'll be back next week for another Self-Love Wednesday episode. Until then, keep building, keep loving, and keep mastering your marriage, one intentional step at a time. Now, for more exclusive training, deeper dives, behind-the-scenes content, our books, video series, and the Simplified Uplifters Apparel, our online clothing store, make sure you download the Simplify You app today. It's your one-stop shop for all of our resources inside Google Play or the Apple Store. Or you can visit the website, simplifieduplifters.net, which is a duplication of the app. This information, it'll also be in the bio of the show. Folks, if you found value in today's episode, we would also appreciate you sharing this episode and the podcast itself with those that you know need to hear this message. And if you haven't done it already, subscribe to Marriage Mastery Uplifters podcast so you don't miss our upcoming Marriage Builder Sunday, where we'll explore how these individual strengths, they come together to create an unbreakable bond. Thanks again for joining me on this Transformative Self-Love Wednesday. Until next time, nurture your soul, protect your energy, be kind to yourself, and build the marriage of your dreams. Most important, remember your power. You are extraordinary.